right? And I think it's a powerhouse. So I've asked Greg to come tonight and tell us about how Vital can help us to support daily detoxification in the body.
Yes, thanks, Erica. I mean, I love that you chose Vital, because I 100% agree. I would pick the same thing. If I had to pick just one thing, I would pick Solle Vital. And you already said it, but that's the first thing. Well, I wanted to lead with something else, but I'll just add, it does absolutely play a major role in all three of those phases of detoxification, in all three. And that's why Vital is so effective. We call it a little bit of a gentle detoxer, because it's like you said, I view it as a daily detoxer. In other words, it's because some things we do to detox force a much harsher reaction that might be necessary. But Vital works constantly with a gentler but constant energy toward detox that can be applied every day because it's needed every day. But this is one thing I want to say before I jump into kind of a little more detail in that. I always get thinking back. First of all, if you want to learn and you want to think, come to one of Erica's master classes. If you like thinking and reasoning and applying what you already know to what she's going to tell you, and thinking through this new information so that you can help yourself more and other people, come to Erica's class, because that's the effect that it has on me. Because I was thinking about Vital because she asked me to talk about it. And I always think about the vital organs, because Vital really was designed first, I will tell you, originally as a heart product. Originally, it was designed as a heart product, but as we completed the formula, it really is something that addresses, if you look at Chinese philosophy, those 6 vital organs. And here's the thinking part, and the reason for my comment on coming to Erica's classes. If you sit back and think a little bit about those 6 vital organs, your heart and your kidneys and your lungs and your liver and your pancreas and your spleen. Have I forgotten one? Did I get all of them? Should have been 6. Ask yourself, does any one of these not have a role in body's daily detoxification? If you think about it for just a minute, they all do. And we just don't classify them that way. We classify certain organs as your detox organs. But the truth is they all have a role. And when you interrupt or you take out a piece of it, so it's, it's a piece of it is weak, a link of the chain is weak, then the body has to go to suboptimal processes, because it's so amazing it can, to still detox. And then but then it's compromised, though the most vital detoxing will happen. And so over time, we can become weakened, but in the short run, we can function. So my comment is that Solle Vital, one of the reasons why it is so good is because it does nourish in a major way all 6 of those organs that we absolutely cannot do without. Why is it working in all 3 of the detoxing areas that Erica shared with us? Well, think about the 3 groups of herbs in Solle Vital. When we talk about it, a lot of times we group the 14 herbs that are in Vital, we group them into 3 groups: the chlorophylls, the minerals, and the adaptogens. And those are the 3, that's one way of grouping them. I will never forget when we were finishing the formula for Solle Vital, it was around the time that there was a large nuclear disaster in Japan. And there were a couple of articles published showing that a really good extract of chlorophyll could help protect from the effects of radiation and help someone exposed to heal through it. Okay. Now I'm using my own words there. I'm paraphrasing, but I wished that we had it, and that, and we had connections, and that people could have gotten it and just drunk Vital through that process. Because I know that this whole aspect that we understand so little of, electromagnetic radiation and just various types of radiations, which are just part of our world, and they do lots of things that help us in quality of life, but nobody really knows or will know for, I think, decades, the real effect that it has upon us in our health. But we do know lots of really important protections that this green pigment in plants that's literally covers our earth can do. It's just that we don't eat nearly enough of it. Nobody does. And that's why we have it in Vital. It's like 20 times what you would get from another decent chlorophyll supplement that might be in liquid form, which was the way that I was involved with it for my first 20 years in the industry. But chlorophyll degrades within 48 hours to about 8%. This is the statistic that you're not going to hear published as much. If you leave it in liquid within 48 hours, it'll be 8% of the potency. So you can still do lots of great things. Just make sure you drink a whole bunch of it. Or you can store it in a powder form as we do and mix it and drink it immediately and just have these multiples of benefit. So chlorophyll is a protector, but it's also like that stage 2 neutralizer. It's an incredible neutralizer. It strengthens blood. I mean, speaking of all the ways we could list, I promise you that just thinking this through for 3 or 4 minutes, in my head, I feel like I'm beyond 100 different detoxing aspects that are directly influenced by Solle Vital. So, and I think that the number would be several hundred, and that just sounds like a lot, and it sounds like hyperbole, but not if you really look at all the things that have to be, that we learn over time for our body to do this amazing detoxing every day. So what compromises it? What makes it a little less effective, a little less efficient, not complete, not completing the process? And what also, conversely, when we change in nutrition, makes up ground and provides an opportunity for us to see improvement and feel improvement in things. Chlorophyll is one of those things. It's one of those nutrients. It can play that role. And so in Solle Vital, there are 4, not just one. We didn't just find a good one and go, hey, yeah, we got that in there too. Let's green it up. There are 4 because they come from different sources. And I don't believe that science understands all the reasons why they work the way they do, and how different plants with the same substances have different effects in us, different beneficial effects. I know that we can understand some of that. I don't think that we understand all of it. And part of that acknowledgement is why we have 4 kinds of chlorophyll. They have dual purposes. The sources for chlorophyll do other things too that directly aid in detoxing. But I would just say, for the sake of simplicity tonight, chlorophylls, what a great neutralizer and detoxer in that. Now, the second group is minerals. I look at the minerals as that bank account deposit that your body needs. I don't know, if kidneys and everything they do, speaking of just our subject tonight, it's huge and it's more pervasive in other things than we might think. In other words, not just some of the direct, like it's a function on our urinary health and on eliminating through liquid, like Erica said, the big role kidneys play in all of that. I think they play a huge role in new blood cells and in lots of semi-indirect functions that still tie right to kidneys. This is a kidney product extraordinaire. Solle Vital is a kidney product extraordinaire. We can't count the number of stories of people with varying degrees of kidney imbalance. And we're talking, diagnosed on paper, here's percent of function that's not optimal or even close to it. How many have been able to move their number? Because it's a really trackable thing. They can go in and get tests. So I love it when people work with their doctor on kidneys and they work with Vital. So Vital's like this mineral bank account, because minerals are important for everything, but also a huge kidney. And some of the kidney strengthener and reactivator, and some of the components in there that are these minerals have proclivity toward certain other organs like your lungs. We've got nettle in there, burdock, your heart, clearly dandelion, your kidneys and urinary tract. And then we have the seed of oat straw, just the seed. And so that group, another big, long discussion. And if we wrote them all, if you wrote them all and we listed, if Erica wanted to give you a bunch of lists, I think the number would be into the hundreds of specific functions to do with metabolic detoxification. And then the last group is your adaptogens. And that list is the longest of all. There's 6 of them. I mean, by definition, adaptogens are so very, very complete. And they do, each of them also have their proclivity. I mean, they do have their emphasis, though they're also balanced. But I wanted to mention with adaptogens, so this is that third group in Solle Vital. The point that Erica brought up about endogenous toxins. And I'm not sure there's a bigger group. I mean, all our wonderful human-made chemicals, we cause lots of problems with that, though they perform all sorts of really kind of miraculous functions in manufacture and in other things, you know, what in technology. But they also are crazy harmful. So many of them, in my opinion. I'm one of those that, it's not that I think everything is killing you in any moment. I'm not that extreme. But I am one who believes that so very many of these have a negative effect that puts more load on the body, and our body's amazing and can handle it, but it gets overwhelmed. So I do think that's a big issue. Don't think it's as big as issue as stress. Personally, this is personal opinion, because I think stress happens a lot faster and more relentlessly. And our body does create a lot of chemicals. We are biochemical, and we don't efficiently process that because of all the things that Erica taught. Intake, lifestyle. I mean, let's, put the list out there and we would all go, yep. I mean, that's kind of how we deal with in life. So having a group of herbs that strengthen our stress response and make it more healthy, in addition to aiding nutritionally in some of these detoxification processes, but also strengthening the stress response and the creation of those chemicals that we ourselves are responsible for inside of us. I don't know anything better than adaptogens for that. And that's why we have 6 of them. There's a variety of 6 covering all sorts of bases there, covering all sorts of ground and terrain that is unknown to us, except for that we do know the consequence. We do know how we feel afterward. And so Vital, I hope that, if you take nothing more out of my comments tonight, then, okay, we've got these 3 groups. This chlorophyll is this amazing neutralizer protector, and these minerals that are amazing connectors that make the functions interplay the way they're supposed to. And then these wonderful adaptogens that constantly nourish how we respond to stress. That's why Vital works so well in detoxing. That's why it's basic. It's super, super easy. It really is a powerhouse. It's super easy to add in every day. And let me just say one last, I couldn't help but see a chat. I loved the chats, but one caught my eye. It was like, it's so hard to manage stress, or something like that. The chat was. I agree, because if we take stress as a big picture, it's overwhelming. But one thing that's easy to manage is to pick something from the list that Erica put up. Pick a thing that we're going to put into a day. We can totally manage that. We can pick a small thing that's guaranteed positive. And actually, that is how you manage stress. You plug one in, you pick things. Those positive things, in my opinion, are more powerful than the negative ones. We choose them, we carry them out. We can do that. We can help each other with ideas and support. But I do think that it is easy to put positive intervention of stress into our life. We can do it nutritionally, Vital, and we can do it by plugging in some of these ideas. Anyway, back to you, Erica.
I love it. And I'm gonna play off of that last comment for a moment, because I know that, like, for me, with going to the holidays and everything else, and weather changes and whatnot, I've experienced a change in stress level. It has been heightened in the last few days, and so much so that, like, I was even like feeling like my joints and everything else, and that was my thing was like, what can I do? Like, and so I'm going to just sit in silence for a minute and let the world take care of itself. What can I do for myself for just a moment and add that in? And I'll tell you what's interesting about it is this morning I woke up craving Vital, right? And my body will do this. Like, I normally in the summer, it's easy. I'll drink like 5 Vitals a day because it's really super hot in Texas, but it's been really chilly for the last week or so. And so I'm not drinking as much Vital. And today my body said, hey, we need some more of that in our lives. And I always drink at least one, but today I'm on number 3 right now. And like my body's looser. Like everything is starting to be looser, not quite as tight. And I'm not really doing a whole lot different. My body's just processing it. I'm just supplying it the minerals and the tools and everything else. I've also been very aware of breathing and eating and all of those things today as well. So when we do those positive things, our body just kind of takes care of it. And the beauty of that is I don't have to focus on why I'm stressed and like really try to figure out the pieces. My body just starts to release it. And then as I start to feel better naturally, then my brain can say, oh, that's not, we don't really need to worry about that. Or, oh, we can take care of this over there. And we can do this to, you know, solve for that issue. And so as my body begins to release and I have these nutritional tools and the lifestyle tools to do it, I'm able to then get better.